I remember my mother saying, "You're selfish." And that silenced me. And from that point on, I never really used my voice. So that going back to that period
Wow.
time in my life was the turning point for me. My first marriage was my darkest season. I believe there are some things I've suppressed over time. And I honestly should never have gotten married. Your children need to know that you are not perfect. And we make mistakes, but I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. But some of us wear masks. But it's okay to say, "I'm not okay." Only God can help me be okay. And that's where I am. It doesn't happen overnight. You got to keep working on it and telling yourself, you are wonderfully made. And whatever path that you had, God can still use you right where you are. And reminding yourself every day, you are enough.
Hi, and welcome to another episode and another season of the Woman Witness podcast on the Woman Witness TV network. I'm your host, Leah Fortier. As you all know, here on this platform, we bring to you dynamic voices of women that are out there making a positive impact in their life, in their family, and the community around them. Women of faith, women of resilience, women who have battled through something and they are bold enough, strong enough to turn around, grab the hand of another sister, and be a witness. Today, I am so excited to welcome you a guest, a powerhouse of a guest, faith, resilience, bold in transformation. This Sonya Denise is an author, a speaker, an educator, and an ordained minister who has turned her personal pain into purpose-driven impact. Through her walk with Sonya Denise LLC and Sonya Denise Foundation, she empowers women to rise, to heal, to lead from a place of wholeness. She doesn't just talk about overcoming, she embodies it. So I'm so excited to dive into the real faith-filled conversation with Sonya Denise. Hi, Sonya. Welcome to the Well. How are you today?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to learn a little bit more about what you do, learn a little bit more about your different foundations and how what you are doing is helping build women into walking into their full purpose. And can I just say this? I think so often we get stuck in, what is our purpose? What is our reason for being here? So I'm excited to kind of dive into this conversation with you. Before I get started, let me go ahead and turn this over to you. Tell us a little bit about who Sonya Denise is.
Okay. Well, that's a great question because I start off always my story is that I was in education for over 30 years. I worked in the school district of Philadelphia in an urban school district, supervised the special education department there. And one of the things you just said earlier, it was something that made me think about it. We're taught, hey, live the what we call the American dream. And so what I thought I was living American dream, and I read this book called Untethered Soul, and it asked that very question you just asked, who are you? And I could not answer that question. Because you can't tell them you are a mother, you are a teacher, like who were you before you became all those things? So that
Mm,
ended me to where I am right now. Because I had to start peeling back the onion and figuring out who I actually was, not who people wanted me to be, not what
mm,
I was told to be, not the life that I thought I should live according to the rules and regulations of other people, regardless if it's your religion or your parents, society. So who I am now is I'm becoming, and I'm embracing the woman that I am becoming now. I'm becoming who I was ordained to be, my purpose in life right now. And so I'm still working through it, of
mm.
course, because everything's a process.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I'm feeling better about who I am and what I should be doing in life at this present moment. So I am becoming.
I love that you are becoming. What was that defining moment in your faith, Sonya, and your faith journey that completely changed everything for you?
So after, and again, it goes back to that whole book. Like, um, I didn't really know who I was and wasn't really living in complete happiness, joy, or peace in my life. You just go through the motions and you think you're happy and you think you have joy. So that was the defining moment for me. And so I went to therapy and, you know, and started talking about, myself, and I really couldn't tell you, so I had to think about all the things that I have gone through in life. And I always start every sentence off with, I'm not parent bashing in any way, but a lot of that landed me to a place of not complete peace and joy, what
Mm,
came from my childhood. Came from a two-parent home.
mm.
Working class parents worked extremely hard to
Yeah.
provide, and everything. And of course, they only can give you what they're equipped
Yeah.
to give you.
Yes,
They do
ma'am.
not have the tools to give you what you actually need.
Yeah.
And so they weren't able to give me what I needed, but they
Yeah.
kind of set a path that you should go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. They can only give you what they have.
Right. And so that defining moment was like, when did I lose my voice? And I lost my voice at around 13, 14 years of age. Because we were taught girls are seen and not heard, or not knowing that, that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names shall never hurt me, is the biggest lie. And it hurts. You know, um my I think I was about 14. My cousin came to live with me, a cousin that I did not know. Actually, it was my father's half sister's child who was dying of cancer, and my parents took her in. And at that period of time, parents did not ask you how you feel or what you think or anything. And she was full of drama, in my opinion. In my opinion, she was full of drama. And I remember my mother saying, "You're selfish." And that silenced me. And from that point on, I never really used my voice. I've always tried to please other people from that point on. So that going back to that period time in
Mm.
my life was the turning point for me. And really saying, you know what? You're not selfish. And it's okay to feel the way you feel.
Right. Let me ask you, so, Sonia, now, did you grow up? You said you grew up in a two-parent home. Were you in church?
Yeah, well, not always. No, my
Okay.
parents, well, of course, well, as you may not know, I should say,
Yeah.
my parents believed in God and wasn't. I started maybe around 13, 14. Really, at that all this happened around the same time.
Like time.
Really being going to church and
Mm-hmm.
active in church. And it was really my neighbor, Annie Evans, God rest her soul, who lived two doors from me, introduced me to the church that I wound up growing up in as time went on. And and it was great. But even at church, you're taught a lot of tradition, and it's not
That's what
necessarily,
I was getting at, the tradition.
yeah,
Yeah.
tradition, and we go through all of these motions of
Right.
tradition. And it really, as you get older, you're trying to figure all this out, but you're trying to also do as you were told to do.
Right.
And none of it had anything to do with God. Not
Right.
not a lot of it had to do with God. I
Mm-hmm.
grew up in a Pentecostal church. You didn't wear pants. You didn't wear fingernail polish. You didn't wear lipstick. There was
Mm-hmm.
more things that you could not do. That you could.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
what will God allow me to do here? Like, telling me, "Don't do this. You're not allowed to do that. Don't do that."
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so you
Mm.
find yourself when you go away to college in a world that you have no idea.
Mm.
And I believe that's where a lot of us lose it. We get into relationships. We're trying to fit in. We're trying to figure your life out because you've come from this background that taught you that everything in the world is bad, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
No, no, thank you for saying that, and, can I just point out when you said when you began to go to therapy and you actually found or got down to the root of when you lost your voice, and you would think it's something, maybe to us, some of us who may have lost our voice, something just so small, something just, that one thing that you said that your mom said to you that probably really cut deeper than what you thought. So this is why I think, talking through our feelings and our childhood definitely works. Man, sometimes I like to go, now you said it, now I'm going down memory lane. Okay. Let me look, trying to pinpoint some things. Okay. So when you sent your inquiry form and you talked about overcoming some adversity and how we could turn that pain into purpose, right? So what was one of the darkest seasons of your life and how did your faith really kind of pull you through?
I would say my first marriage was my darkest season. That that I can remember off the top of my head. And I believe there are some things I've suppressed over time and I intentionally or unconsciously just don't remember for whatever reason. But I can say that was the darkest period of my life. And I honestly should never have gotten married. Honestly should have never been with the person that I married. But again, you're gonna get the
Yeah. Yeah.
white fence and you're gonna get married and you're gonna have 2.5 kids. I'm not some figured out how you have 2.5 kids, but you know what? However that happens, that was the darkest moment. I use the term, and it's because my ex did not he had things that he also had to try to work through. Um,
Yeah.
so you have two people coming together with baggage.
Yep.
Um, it just and then marriage is always baggage. And he was a womanizer. I don't, he was a womanizer. But for me, even in that, I suppressed that. I didn't tell anybody. I kept trying to fake it until I make it,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it never changes anything. What it does is it kills your self-esteem. It
Mhm.
kills your voice again. It kills the person that you think you are, you need to become. Um,
Mhm.
you put everything on the back burner,
Yeah.
and so you never and you're searching for love. That's
Mhm.
fair. And one of the things I've learned is people can only love you with the tools that they have to love you. And then it's my decision if I want to participate in it. And so I participated in that. So that piece is on me, not so much him, but on me because I allowed myself to be in that situation. So that's the darkest moment. Going through all of those different things and the lies and the cheating and, just trying to navigate
Hold on. Yeah.
because I also come to my parents were married 65 years,
Mm.
is not necessarily on the table,
Right.
and my ex knew that. And I think it shocked him when he finally got served with divorce papers because in his mind, he thought I would never
This is
divorce.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thought I would just live like that forever.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
Yes. That was it was pretty hard. It was pretty
Yeah.
dark. It was difficult. So then even after that, you still have to deal with all of those emotions that you're going through. Um and dealing with that.
Which leads me into my next question that I want to ask you. W of course, divorce is, I look at it as it's a loss. It's a loss. And just like when you lose a person, you lose a job, you lose anything, it takes time, right? So talk to us about what that chapter looked like for you, like not just emotionally, but also spiritually. And like you say, your parents were married for 65 years.
Well, I think that was a part of my life where I wasn't quite sure if I even wanted to be here anymore. We have a daughter together. So that was probably the my lifeline. Uh, because you don't want to leave your children with that trauma neither. But there was that point that this is life. This is the best I'm going to ever have in life. And you go through, nobody wants you, nobody loves you, and you feel like you. And when we connect that with faith, well, God, I believe I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and look at other people and you see or you think or you believe, whatever it is, that they have pure happiness and they're not even trying to be saved. They're not even trying to confess that they not
Everything's
even
love.
trying to live a life, a godly life. They're not even picking up the Bible, nevertheless.
Mhm.
You wonder why me? And why is this happening to me? Am I not lovable? Or am I not worthy of it? All right. Or I'm just not enough. So go through all of those emotions. And again, we were not a family that expressed how you feel and lovey dovey. So you suppress all of those things.
Yeah.
Suppressing those things, it's like a pot that's a hot water that you're boiling. It's
Yeah.
gonna actually boil over.
Yep.
And that for me was the all of those things just boiled over, and I was like, contemplated, do I want to stay here? Do I the and why, But then that part that says that if you kill yourself, you're not going to heaven, just kept in the corner of my mind, because that's what you were told, no, you're not gonna go to
Yep.
heaven. So
Yeah.
but you're fighting your own demons. You're fighting, all of those things within, and so we know that the enemy lives in your mind,
Yeah, it is.
and your mind can be a dangerous thing.
Yep.
And the
Yep.
world tells you, "End it all," It's
Mm.
okay to do that, and so those were some really even after and, so there's grief that comes with divorce. You have to grieve that relationship. You have to grieve all of those things, and I did not do the work after that. So I carried it and just went to the next stage and just kept going and kept going and going until you can't go no more. Nobody really knows what you're going through.
No. Yeah, I think so often we do such a good job of masking everything. Just, we'll get over it. I think if we can point back to our childhood, I feel like that's how, we were raised. And I, even catch myself now, even with my kids and get up, come on, let's go. Get up, like, oh, I'm not feeling well. You're fine. I'm,
And my used to say, we weren't allowed to say, "Oh, that gets on my nerves. You're too young. You don't have nerves." Yeah, I absolutely do have nerves. No, so all of those things that, people don't realize,
yeah.
that words do hurt and words
Yeah.
they reside rent free in your mind.
Get it.
Reside rent free in your mind. And so all of those things. And even with my ex, when we go back to thinking about that, things he would say sometimes, he was cruel. I mean, he wasn't physically abusive, but the mental and emotional abuse was worse, in my opinion, for me at least, than someone hitting me. Um, he was mean, and he really believed that he could just do what he wanted to do, and he did until I decided I can't do this anymore. It's enough.
I love the fact that we speak about the different types of abuse because, I do believe a lot of us think that, or some people may think that abuse, it's, physical or sexual or, but that emotional and that spiritual, that is there as well. That mental abuse, that is there as well. And like you said, it's the most, um, captivating one, if you will, if I can say that. I don't know if I can say that, but, right? I mean, it is, it's in your mind.
It
It's
is. It
in
it
your
it
mind.
never leaves your mind.
It
It never leaves your mind until you actually have to do the work.
right,
That really is their stuff, and it's not your stuff. But you
right.
carry that. So if I think about the, words as a child, from a
Mhm.
child, then you go into relationships, and then you go into a marriage. So you that all of those words start playing on, they play a role in your life, and so that was
Hmm,
the
hmm.
darkest period of my life. In my adult life, let me say that as an adult, and even pushing through with my daughter, and trying to figure out how do you balance all of this.
Yeah.
And so,
Uh-huh.
so it's just not, it was financially devastating. It was emotionally devastating. It was just devastation in every area of my life. And those scars are not visible scars, but they are definitely scars and wounds, and you have to heal them or try to figure out how to heal them. And faith helps with that. Um, God that absolutely helps with it. Um, but often, and I do have to say, as people in the church, we don't know what to say. Oh, God is good and God will take care of you.
Mm.
Well, I know God is good, but right
Mm,
now, I'm not feeling good, God, about
mm, mm,
I'm
mm,
not in a good place. And a friend I say I always use this story, but I do. We were taught you go to God and you always got to be joyful when you go to him. But Hannah went to him with bitterness in her heart. She was bitter. So God knows how I feel. So why can't I tell him? Um,
mm. And hide it.
and right.
Right, right.
I don't have to. I can go to God and say, this is where I am right now. I'm not in a good place.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
so, and we there's just things we have to stop teaching people. It's okay to go to God and say, God, I'm not in this good place, but I know that you are able to help me. And I'm going to do the work because I have to do some work as well. Because faith without works is dead. And so, yeah.
when did you realize that the pain was for a greater purpose and it will pass?
You don't think what you have to say or your voice until you start talking to people and you share with people that may be in a similar position, and then people will write you and say, "You don't know how much that meant," or just hearing you say that, "That's where I am," or "That's where I've been," and people made me think I was crazy, or I'm not really crazy for feeling or speaking the way I did. That's when, okay, God. There's a purpose to, all the things that have happened to me. I didn't like it. Now Imma
Yeah.
still say that, gosh,
Yeah, like, did I have to go through
still that journey. Oh, I did not raise my hand for that one. But that's when the purpose when you realize, okay, you really do have what you have to say, it matters, and somebody wants to hear what you have to.
Let me ask you, were you a minister, ordained minister at this point?
No, I was not.
Mm,
I
let
was
me so I think sometimes and you talk to us about this. I think sometimes when, we go through something and we overcame it, God brought us out. Sometimes maybe we may be ashamed to step into our new purpose or step into our calling. And as a minister now, how hard was it to begin to walk into that? Knowing that, man, I got this in my past, how hard is it to step into something new?
So, there's a couple of things. And one, I will say, you still feel like you're not enough.
Mm,
Um, and you're not sure why God chose you for this work. Like,
yeah.
why don't you somebody else, God?
I
Why
thought you give me this craft.
yeah, yeah. Why find someone else that is better fit? And
Yeah.
I heard this from someone. Comparison is it's the thief of joy. Um,
Mm,
so you're comparing yourself even in this wall. Like, well, God, they didn't go through that. Their life was great. And you really don't know people's path or their lives necessarily. We only know what we share.
correct.
So you don't know anything about people's path.
Correct.
But walking into that, you always feel like I don't have that voice. Um, you may not speak as eloquent as someone else. You may not
No.
walk as eloquent as someone else. You may not have this wonderful background and this resume that, I have
Yeah.
great accolades or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's difficult
Mm,
to walk into that. And then and we're still in the African American church. There are those that don't believe God called women to preach,
mhm. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
and then to be an African American woman and divorce
Mm,
is like
mm,
nobody's pulpit. They
mm.
forget about all the people God used. Nobody,
Oh, okay.
but He still used them. Know?
Look.
So they forget about all of those people that He used that didn't meet your
That's
standards,
good.
meet God's standards, and that's what you have to keep reminding yourself. It is a progress. It's not something that happens. It's not linear. It doesn't happen overnight. You got to keep working on it and telling yourself you are wonderfully made. And whatever path that you had, God can still use you right where you are, and reminding yourself every day you are enough.
Mm. I love how and I love what you just said. Okay. I know we don't have time to sit here, but I just highlight it. God uses imperfect people and he does it for a reason. Because I mean, what did Jesus's biggest critics were the Pharisees, or were the perfect people. He said, I didn't come to save y'all. I didn't come here for y'all. I mean, he didn't say that verbatim, but he didn't
Right.
come there for the already saved. He came for the lost, the brokenhearted. Like, so I think that's why God uses us. Sometimes I'm like, but God, you didn't have to give me this story. I said, if I could have chose, if I could have chose a battle, I didn't want this one.
Right.
I got
Give
there
me
some other way.
another battle, Lord. Give me
Right.
another battle.
Right.
This ain't it. This ain't it.
This ain't it. This ain't fun. But and I love what you said about comparison. You're right, because I think we spend so much time comparing ourselves. I mean, I had this whole thing. I would journal a lot, and I had this whole journal of where I could have been if I was like if I had a better
Right.
upbringing, if I didn't have to go through this abuse. And I just knew in my life, like, I'm supposed to be somewhere else. And I remember God telling me, he's like, calm down, you're gonna be right where you are supposed to be when you're supposed to be there.
That's
And I was like, okay. And I threw that book away, but I could have really published that thing. That thing was long. Um, published that thing. Look, how many nights of pity and I spent in. Okay, I want to ask you about the process of transformation, Sonya. You talk about living unapologetically bold in faith, in life. What does that look like for you today?
it's wonderful. Might I add, it's a wonderful place to be because and I wanted to add this as I go into that. This is for every woman out there that feels and believes like because we get to a certain age and we feel like, okay, well, my time is up. My time is up. If Sarah can have a baby at her God clearly can use all of us. So you don't have to compare yourself to no other woman in the world. And perhaps that was not the timing for you because you weren't ready to step in it. But that's for every woman that's out there. And world will tell you you're 50, you're at 40, you're 60, you know. Well, let's look at Sarah. He used Sarah. He can use so wanted to
Sonia, I'm sorry. There's so much prophecy in what you just said. Okay, let me calm down. You're talking about Sarah, and Sarah birthing a child, birthing a promise, right? And some, oh my gosh, our promise is still in us. It is not dead.
not
It is
dead.
not too late.
It's not too late. This is for everybody out there that may think it's too late because that's what we're taught. Even as a young girl, when you start getting in your 30s, you haven't had children yet. You haven't had any children yet. Well, when God's ready for you to birth whatever that promise is, it will happen. It will happen, and guess what? It will be the right time when it comes. So, if
And
yeah,
this is, oh my gosh, this is what I believe so strongly, is that God, you are not going anywhere. You are anybody listen to this, Sonia, you, me, we are not going anywhere until our promise is birth. You are is going to be birthed. I mean, you have to believe that.
it's going
You
to
have to
happen.
believe it. You're
It's
not gonna walk around 9 months pregnant forever. You have to give birth.
you are going to give birth to that thing. Whatever promise God gave you,
Come on.
and whatever promise he told you it was going to happen, it's going to happen. And his timing is not our timing. And that's what we have to remember. 1,000 years to us is like one day to him. You're sitting there scrolling like, okay, God, okay, I'm on my 45th birthday. I'm 55. I'm almost hitting 60. And he's saying, calm down. I got you.
Got you.
I got you. And
Don't try to get it any other way. Don't try to manipulate it. Just
there
wait.
you go. And don't think you're gonna go the path everybody else goes. You have to go your own path and walk your own way. So I wanted to add that because I'll say, and I forgot your question.
Okay, no, living. Okay, one thing I love what you said when I asked you about living unapologetically bold in your faith and in your life and what that looks like for you now. You said it looks beautiful. Talk to me.
It's
It
freedom.
doesn't feel like. How does
Right,
it?
it's freedom. It's total freedom. Um,
Yeah,
because you live it unapologetically. You don't have to apologize to anybody. When you need to set boundaries, you set boundaries, and you only participate in those things that you feel are things that are going to enhance your life, that bring you joy, bring you peace. And I tell people every day, I'm chasing my peace. I'm not going to do anything that interrupts my peace or disturbs my peace. I'm not doing any of those things, regardless if it's family, friends, or whomever it may be. I'm just not going to do it. And I decide I'm going to participate. And I'm okay with that. I'm good with it now. Before you're like, oh, you want to tell everybody yes. Oh, sure, I'll do that. Oh, sure, I'll do this. But no is a complete sentence. Period. I don't have to give you an explanation behind it. I just tell you and
I
that.
love it.
Yeah.
You said in Psalm 23, goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. So, I love when you say you were chasing peace. God is giving you peace.
Yes.
He is right there for you. Man, I just hear so loudly. We may even have to stop running, just stop. Just stop.
Right.
It's right there.
Well,
It's right there.
the word says, stand still and know that
Yeah.
I am God. You don't have to run. Just stand
No.
there. You don't have to run. And God is right there. He's never left you, and those are the things that you often feel. Yeah, church tell you, well, you know, this may have happened because you did that, right? Or you shouldn't have done this, or you shouldn't. I don't know why it happened. And some of it is clearly because of poor decision making, but I'm still here. And a good friend told me the other day, give tomorrow a chance.
Say it one more time.
Good friend told me, give tomorrow a chance.
Uh, yeah. Give
Tomorrow, give it a chance.
You have to. You
And it,
must. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your future.
you owe it. You owe it to yourself to give it the chance.
I love it. Sonia, as a leader and as a minister, how do you balance the vulnerability and the strength in guiding others as well?
You know, one of the things that I do believe this process has helped me with is I'm extremely transparent now. I am who I am. Um, and some people are going to love you, some people are going to like you, and some people are not going to like you. And and it's okay. Um, and you always open yourself up to people to make comments about your life, that you open yourself up to people um judging your life and what you're doing in life and what you're not doing and what you should be doing and what they think they know. But people don't know you. They don't know you. So it doesn't even matter to me anymore. You can say what you want to say because none of that matters. The only thing that matters is what God says about me. All of that
Yeah.
other stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So how do I deal with that? I share even when I'm ministering to people and talking to them. Always ask God, what should I share, and what shouldn't I share? Because even with that, you have to be cautious too.
Mm-hmm.
What should I share with people when I'm ministering them? Because sometimes people are not in a space where they can handle all of it at one time.
Yep. Yep.
They're just not
Mm-hmm.
there. So you have to. Some of us are spoon fed.
Yeah.
And some
Yeah.
of us are ready for the whole meal, and give it to me raw. But you just got to keep praying and ask God to help you. What should I say? What should I do? And what should I share about my,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
people already know, but
Yeah. I love it. I love what you said. You just got to the point that, I don't know why. I just feel like it's so much easier when you know that you're doing it for God.
right.
Like, it's so much easier letting that stuff roll off your tongue and just saying, hey, here it is. And it is what it is at this point. I mean, I made it this far. I ain't turning back now. Let me ask you.
And I'm
Uh,
here for a purpose. He kept
right,
me here because if he thought that my work was done or my time was over, I wouldn't be here today.
right,
So I'm here for a reason.
right.
And you may not understand and you may not even like it, but it's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
See, it's like I feel like it's like the Samaritan woman. And this is why, oh man, here we go. This is why I feel like we must tell our story, because I felt like Jesus just went on here and told her all about her business, right? And then they had the nerve to put in a book, like, I have read all of her business out for everybody to see, but and I still believe that there were some other things that, like, is missing out of her story. Like, why did she get her divorces? Was she being abused? Was it, they didn't talk about any kids? Could she not have kids? And there was just so many things that, my mind goes through when I think about her business. But I think what God was trying to tell us is that he's given us the public things to share with people, giving us the things that we cannot hide to share with people, right? Because they already know anyways. They're already
Right.
judging anyways,
That which they
right?
know they make up.
Exactly. Exactly. So God's like, I got you here, so I need you to tell your story and be a witness.
Right.
Um, if not, don't worry, I'm gonna help you. Okay, anyways, sorry. Thank you. So tell all the business. Um, what so what did healing look for you? What did healing look like for you, Sonya, on a day-to-day basis? Because it's hard.
It's a lot of tears, a lot of crying. Um,
And how do you minister through it? Sorry, I wanted to ask you that.
um, I think it goes back to when you really stop wearing that mask. Because when you get up and go to church, some of us wear masks. Um, we get the doors and oh, I'm just so happy. Praise the
And
Lord.
now they got the camera all in your face
Right.
now.
Highly favored, blessed by God.
Yeah.
We do all of that. And
Mm,
but it's okay to say, I'm not okay. And when I got to the place where I can say to people, it's okay to say I'm not okay, but we'll say, I'm okay, but I will be. I'm okay, but I'm not even quite sure. Only God can help me be okay. And that's where I am. And so that healing process was being, first of all, honest and true to myself. You can't be your authentic self unless you're authentic to yourself.
yeah.
And so you have to start with yourself first. Like, I'm not okay, God. This thing hurts. Um, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to do it to make myself feel better. But
Mm,
I want to heal, and
mhm.
I want to be free of all of this hurt and pain that I've been carrying around with me. Because it also destroys other relationships.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
really ever enter into another relationship. And that's not just, with your mate or
Yeah.
your significant
Yeah.
other. It is with your children, it's with your family, it's with your friends,
Job.
your job, because I'm carrying all this stuff and I'm trying to balance it and wear this mask. And so that healing process was, let me look at what I'm actually doing in life. And one of them is working. um, you know, and I tell people all the time, if I had had it my way, I would have never gone to college. I would have been the next Tyler Perry. In my mind. Um, well, at least that's what I tell myself every day. And, and or the next Viola Davis or somebody, like that. But I always lived the way people wanted me to live. So now I have to start living for myself and living in the way God wants me to live. And so in that I'm healing every day. I'm doing things that I like to do. I'm also doing things that need to do, things that God wants me to do. I can't become who he wants me to be unless I'm doing all of these things I need to do. And that was therapy. That was
Mhm.
prayer. That was, reading my word, and it was having honest conversations with myself, not other people necessarily, and then
Mhm.
honest with God,
Yeah.
out loud, because he already knew, but he was just
Yeah.
waiting on me. He was waiting on me. I was the problem. So that's what
Mm.
process, I have not, I know there are those that, go back to the people that have hurt them or the people that they believe have done something to their life. I never went back to my ex. I
Mm.
did write a letter
Yeah.
and never sent it to him and just burned it. It was like, okay, I'm going to write this letter. I'm going to get all this out on paper,
Mm.
um, and really deal with it. And then when I had to read that back to myself, it was
You
like,
like it.
you really allowed yourself
Mm.
in that mess. And that hurt even more, to be honest with you, because now really seeing it and reading it. And I think I was just walking through it and really working through that and doing the work. You really have to dig deep. You really have to do the work. Yeah, my mother's still living. And before I wrote it in the book, I told her that I was writing it because I didn't want her to be surprised. But my mother is love her dearly, and the woman that she is, she said to me, "I never knew you felt like that." And it wasn't she didn't feel like I was bashing her in any kind of way
Yeah.
or making her feel horrible. She was like she had to think back. She was like, "Wow." She
I
said,
didn't realize it.
"I didn't even realize it," and that you were still carrying that thing.
Mm.
You know, 40 years later, you're still carrying it.
Mm. Mhm.
So that was
Wow.
yeah. So it is again, it's progress,
It's
it's
a
process,
process.
a process.
Um, oh, I gotta ask you this question before I move on from this leadership position and overcoming um, adversity or trying to heal from a place of leadership. I just gotta ask this last question because I think sometimes when we are in a leadership position, whether we have a business or whether we're at a church or if you're do a podcast or whatever, but you don't want to seem vulnerable, right? You want to, do you ever fear that if you get too vulnerable, that people won't trust you anymore or they won't give you that next opportunity? Or if you're at, you're ministering to someone, maybe you feel like, oh my gosh, if I just tell them I'm not well today, are they going to send me home? Or, talk
Right.
to, but, talk to some of us about that who are trying to balance this role of authority.
I think I believe that people already have a lack of trust in leadership.
Mm-hmm.
When they already come in with preconceived ideas and thoughts. And some of it is what they've heard about you or what they think they know about you or what they saw. And a prime example is I always tell people, you see a 20-second clip of a celebrity, you really don't know those people. You don't know their life. You don't know anything about those people. And you only know what people allow you to know about them. So yeah, there was that place where maybe you shouldn't. And I'm gonna go back to the way you were when you talk about being raised. What goes on in your house stays in your house. Um, nobody has to know your business. Nobody, you don't have to share everything with, and all of those things that you're taught are not necessarily good for you. So people are going to make up their mind no matter what you do. That's where I am. If you do, whatever. If you do, if you don't, they're going to walk away whatever their thoughts are of you. So I am in a space, in a place right now is I'm going to do what God tells me to do. And if he says share that right now with them and tell them that I'm not well today, then I'm going to do that. There will be a lot of people out there that would disagree with that, and that's okay too.
That's okay. Yeah.
But I know that what happens often, especially in the church, um, when people get up, they have this preconceived idea of pastors. Oh, that they're these perfect people. But you said earlier that they're just imperfect people trying to do the work of a perfect God.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all they are. We are imperfect people trying to do
Mm, mm, mm,
the work of a perfect God. So you're not
mm.
perfect, and it's okay. And so when a pastor and his wife are having problems, they everybody starts making, you hear all the noise in the church
Yeah.
about it and judgment about it. And well, he's the pastor. Wow, he shouldn't be doing that. He puts his pants on just like you do. And it's okay. And because people are going to think what they want to think about you. And you can't change that. Can't change it. But as long as you are doing God's will and what God has asked you to do, it it will all work out. And the outcome will be with what God wants the outcome to be, no matter what. And so people can't stop. what God has ordained for your life. They cannot stop it, no matter how hard they try.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, that's good. I just wanted to give, I wanted you to provide just a little context and a little relief for some of those people who are in that position of authority. And I love what you said, that you have to do what God, if God tells you to share it, share it, because you might be setting somebody free by
That's right.
saying, I'm not well. That person may be like, no, I'm not. They may fall
We
asleep
can
right
cry
there and then.
together.
Right.
Girl, we can cry, we can pray together, we might even dance together. Whatever
Right.
we need to do, we can do it together. We're in this together. We are in it together. And it goes back to even parenting. Um, your kids need to know, your children need to know that you are not perfect. And we make mistakes. But I'm doing the best that I can with what I have.
Exactly.
So
That's good. Okay. I want to talk to you about your LLC, your foundation. So you have the Sonya Denise LLC and the Sonya Denise Foundation. I want to talk to you about the LLC. How did this come to life? Where was it birthed at, and what is the impact that you're seeing now?
So the impact that I'm seeing, so how did it come to birth? So everything just kind of rolled into one at one time. I don't know where it began and where it ends some days, but when I started therapy, I started writing, and it came out of a book that I wrote, Resilient Reflections: Letters to Your Younger Self. So there are letters to my younger self of different periods of time in my life that I share with people. And what would I say to young Sonya at that time? Um, and one of them was just that you were enough and you still are enough. And that the things that happen to you are not your fault. You are not the cause of those things. So that started. So I wrote those letters, and I have a letter in it as to my daughter. It's an apology letter, that
Mm-hmm.
couldn't be the mom that you needed.
Yeah.
But I was just dealing with the tools that I had. And as often as we say we're not going to be like our parents, sometimes we turn out to be just like them.
Just like
Just like
them.
at yourself. Like, oh my God, can I
Mhm.
just say that out my did that roll off my just now? So I started with that. And
Mhm.
then it just morphed into, you know what, there are a lot of women out there. There are a lot of women out there that could use the help and the support. And how do we as women embrace each other? Because we really are our sisters' keepers. We are our sisters' keeper. And it's important that we embrace each other, hug each other, and give people a safe space where they can embrace each other and heal together. And it has to be a space of trust. So that's how the LLC came about. Um, and so foundation is I've always had a desire to give back. That is always my heart's desire is always to be able to help people that are in these. The foundation has an educational portion to it to help navigate the educational process for them, not just educating them in academia, but educating them in finance, in other areas of life to help support them and get the resources that families may need. Especially our single moms, sometimes the resources are not at their fingertips. And it's all the
Right.
foundation is also helping with giving back. We have a big
Mhm.
give back now that we're doing for in December. We, as we know, in our current economic status where we are right now and what's going on in the world, there are a lot of families out there that are going to need
Help.
help,
Yep.
um,
Yes, ma'am.
food. They're going to need clothes. They're going to need any kind of support that we can. So that's really what the foundation is about, because that's always been my heart's desire, and that actually brings me joy because we give at Thanksgiving time. Everybody's giving out turkey, but
Yeah.
we do the other 364 days a year for people. And how do we help our families and our children so that they can be the best that they can be? Whatever the success is for them, they're successful in it. So those are how connection and foundation and the LLC.
I love that. I love that. I love what you're doing, and you're absolutely right. More so now than ever, I think that we're going to need a lot of help. Our communities are going to need a lot of help, and I love the fact that you are covering it all. Covering it all, and I think that's where we need counseling, help, support, food and clothing. I love that. What are some of the struggles? So, what are some of the most common struggles that um, you see that women in particular face on a day to day basis, and how do you help raise awareness for that?
So there's a lot of areas, and I could say health wise. Just looking at taking care of you. You can't take care of anybody else when you don't take care of you. And what does taking care of you really look like? We talk about self-love, we talk about all of those great things, but with self-love, I can't give you something I don't have. You can't pour from an empty vessel. So how do I care for myself mentally, physically, emotionally, how and it's really helping women with all aspects and our young girls, teaching them at an early age that you are enough and you are beautiful, you are wonderfully made, and just giving them all the tools that they need as they are becoming women and walking into womanhood. So those are the areas where we are really stressing to help. I see, especially in our inner city communities, we often see that unfortunately our black and brown women struggle, and they struggle in every area. We struggle in breaking barriers in churches. We struggle breaking barriers in careers, in on our jobs. We in
Mm,
any area that you can think of, we struggle. And then just helping that single mom. You
yeah.
I always tell people what I learned from a parent when I was a teacher at of school in Philadelphia, and she looked at me and I asked her about her child's homework, and what she said to me, Miss Berry, I work at Burger King and Walmart. I'm doing the very best that I can. And so that said to me, like I came from a two-parent home, so it opened my eyes to don't be judgmental about people. And what can you do to help somebody? Because it is up to us to bring somebody and help somebody along. So that's the goal.
That was deep. I'm sorry because it does it reminds us that we need to have a lot of grace. And man, that goes. Um, we could sit there for a minute. There's so much in that, but I love what you said. I think we all can have a lot of grace, with the people that we interact with, and seeing different situations in the community, even in the churches.
Right.
If you do see that a child is struggling, just have a little bit of grace. Okay, let me ask you real quick, Miss Sonia. I want to know, where can we find your book? Where can we, if we want to participate in your foundation, if we want to help pour into it, how can we find you? How can we find these resources?
So I am on all social media platforms at Love Sonya Denise, or you can find me on my website for my LLC. My book is on my website is lovesonyadenise.com, www.lovesonyadenise.com. And the foundation, if you want to support or become a volunteer, you can find me at www.thesonyadenisefoundation.com. So,
Let me look. Okay, I think I have that. And can you? I'll have you send that to us again, and we'll make sure that it's in the description below, so
okay.
you guys can reach out to Sonia, and then also pick up that book, of course. And we want to hear back from you. We want to know what your thoughts are, what you think about it. Okay, Sonia, I love our conversation. And I looked up and like, oh my gosh, we could talk forever, but I promise you I wouldn't keep you guys over an hour. But I want to ask you, just in closing, if you could just leave our listeners with one bold truth that they can hold on to until they are in the presence of their next church meeting or Bible study, or leave us with something.
I'm working on something called Unboxed and Unbothered. So what I have unboxed is that I am enough, and what I am unbothered by is the thoughts and mindsets of other people, and that you always have to be true to thy own self. When I say live authentically to yourself, and live your life unapologetically bold.
Ooh, I love that. Ooh, wait. Okay, hold on. You unbox that you are enough and you are unbothered by
The thoughts,
the other thoughts of people.
yes.
Come on. Yes, hold on to that. I think we can all hold on to that. Unbox that right there, and be unbothered by it. Okay. Thank you so much. When you get that done, send it over to us. We'll put that in the link as well. I'd love to circulate that out to everyone. I think there are some good keys that we can hold on to living in our true purpose and our identity. All right. Well, thank you so much for being our special guest today. Thank you so much for pouring at this well. I felt like I've just asked you so many questions. I'm glad we were able to get through everything, but gotta have you back. All right. Thank you, ladies, for tuning in to another episode of the Woman Witness podcast on the Woman Witness TV network. We want you to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We want you to share it, share it, share it, share it, share it. Follow Sonya Denise on all social media. All of her information will be in the description below. Of course, we want you to like and follow and give us feedback on that book. We want to hear your thoughts. We want you to live unapologetically yourself and walk fully into your identity. All right, ladies, and perhaps you were chosen for such a time as this to write, to tell your story, your truth. Until next time, bye, y'all.